Dear students, successfully we have completed every concept that is given in metallurgy chapter. I have gone in detail explaining every part of it. Please watch the earlier classes to understand them. Now in today's class we will see about understanding the evaluate yourself question and how to answer them appropriately. Now first question number 1 is taken from page number 5, that is write the equation for the extraction of silver by leaching with the sodium cyanide and show that the leaching process is a redox reaction. Now if you remember, leaching word I told you to keep in mind, ore is dissolved in a suitable solvent in which the ore becomes a soluble product and the impure, that is gangue, remains as an insoluble product. I have told you. Now point number 2, what I asked you all to remember is, under leaching there are 3 types of leaching: cyanide leaching, acid leaching and alkali leaching. The method cyanide leaching is suitable for the noble metals. Now what are noble metals? Those metals which are least reactive in nature is called as a noble metals. For example, gold, silver, copper, platinum, I had told you all. Now extraction of gold, you have seen it in the earlier video. Now according to the given question, we will see the extraction of silver. Now here I have taken impure ore of silver, treating it with the sodium cyanide in the presence of oxygen and water. You also will remember I have told you aerated dilute aqueous solution is taken. What's the meaning of aerated? Aerated stands for oxygen is being passed and aqueous solution of water we had taken. So impure ore of gold you treat with the sodium cyanide in the presence of oxygen and water. You get a metal complex which is soluble in nature. Cyanide leaching, ore becomes the soluble, impurities remains as insoluble product here. So now our point of interest, this is the soluble product here. So before I move on further, let me quickly tell you how to balance the equation. I had taught it in one more earlier video. Once again I am repeating it quickly. I have taken here the different variables A, B, C, D, E and F. Now in silver I have expressed in terms of A. So how many times A on this side I have got? A times. On the other side E times silver I have got. So A is equals to E. Second one, in terms of sodium. Now how many times sodium I've got? B times. On the other side I've got E times sodium plus F times. So I'm writing E plus F. Now next in terms of cyanide. How many times cyanide I've got? B times here. On the other side how many times cyanide I've got? 2 stands for cyanide. So 2 times E I've got. Then in terms of oxygen, 2 times oxygen plus here also I've got an oxygen. So 2C plus D is equals to, here oxygen is of F times, 2C plus D is equals to F. Next I'm moving on to, that is hydrogen. How many times hydrogen I've got? 2 times. So 2D is equals to, how many times hydrogen on the other side? Only 1. So 2D is equals to F. Now as usual I have taken the values to be, let A is equals to 1. If A is equals to 1, what's the value of E is equals to? E is also equals to 1. Now I know the value of A and B. I am substituting in one of the equations to see any other variables answer I can find out. Yeah, B is equals to 2E. So B is equals to 2 into value of E is 1. So B is equals to 2. So I have got the value of A, E and B. Now I have taken the value of, to find out the value of D here. What's my equation? 2D is equals to F. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. B is equals to E plus F. Now I found out the value of A, E and B. Now moving on, just follow my arrow here. B is equals to E plus F. I know the value of E. I know the value of, I know the value of B and value of E. Substituting, I find out F is equals to 1. Next, I am finding out the value of D. 2D is equals to F. Therefore, 2D is equals to 1. The value of F is 1. Therefore, D is equals to 1 by 2. Now, all the other variable answers we've got except of C. So, just follow my arrow once again. 2C plus D is equals to F. 2C plus value of D is half and F value is 1. Change the side. 1 minus half becomes half. So 2C is equals to 1 by 2. This 2 comes to the denominator. So I get C is equals to 2 2s are 4, 1 by 4. Now I'm going to balance, I'm substituting the equation, derived variable values here. So A is equals to 1, B is equals to 2, C is equals to 1 by 4, D is equals to 1 by 2, and E is equals to 1, and F is equals to 1. Now if you see in this case, two denominator fractions I've got. 1 by 2 is also fraction, 1 by 4 is also fraction. So when you have more than one fractions, try to take the LCM of it, which all of you will know very well. So when I take the LCM of 1 by 2 and 1 by 4, my LCM happens to be 4. So multiply all the derived variables by 4. So when I multiply 1 into 4, I get 4 times. I've got a 2 value of B, multiply it with a 4, that's the LCM, I get 2 4s are 8. Now oxygen C value is 1 by 4 and I am multiplying it with the 4. So 4 and 4 will get cancelled. I will get 1 as the answer. Now D value is 1 by 2. When I am multiplying it with the 4, it will get cancelled. I get 2 times. So 2 times the water molecule. Value of E is 1. So when I multiply it with the LCM 4 and value of F is 1 when I multiply it with the LCM 4. Now quickly if you see here, 4 times silver and here 4 is common for the whole thing. So 4 times silver, balanced 1. Sodium is of 8 times. I've got 4 times here and 4 times here, balanced 1. Then cyanide. Cyanide is of 8 times here. 2 times I've got. So 2 4s are 8, balanced. Oxygen I've got 2 and plus 2 here. So 2 plus 2 will be 4 times. Here I've got a 4 times oxygen, balanced 1. And a water I've got 2 2s are 4, I mean hydrogen. Here a hydrogen I've got a 4 times. So equation is a balanced one. So here we have extracted complex of silver, we have extracted. Now under cyanide leaching, one more term I taught you, that is cementation. What's the meaning of cementation? The process of extracting a metal from its complex. You remember when you will derive a metal from its complex is called as a cementation. So you have taken the complex that you got from here, treating it with the zinc. Zinc replaces the silver. So you get here this complex, zinc complex you get, and elemental silver in the pure form comes out of it here. Now, one more question that is given to you all. Find out if it is a redox reaction. If you remember electrochemical principles, I kept on repeating. Redox reaction, when you say a substance in which or a reaction in which oxidation also takes place, reduction is also takes place. You need to show how this method is suitable for or how are you going to prove it's a redox reaction. Coming back to the question. Now, I have taken the complex metal. One more thing, this is of plus ions and this is of minus ions here. So, my point of interest is to know extracting the silver metal. So, I need to know whether silver metal has undergone oxidation or a reduction. So, I am taking the complex, silver complex here. AgCN twice and minus 1 time I had taken. Now this is the method of finding out. You need to find out oxidation state of metal. Only then you will be able to say whether it has undergone an oxidation or a reduction. So how to calculate the oxidation state of a metal? More of this type you will learn it under coordination chemistry. For the timing, you just understand or follow my steps. I'm sure it will help you all out. So I've taken the square complex here because of my metal of interest here is silver. So I need to find out the oxidation state of silver. I have written down the formula. Now I am going to find out the oxidation state of silver. So I have taken it to be X here. Now the charge of cyanide ion, all this charge again I'm telling you, you will learn it under coordination chemistry. For the timing you remember. Charge of cyanide ion is 1. So how many times cyanide ion I've got? 2 times. So 2 into minus 1 is equals to. Whatever charge they have given you here, we need to take it as an overall charge here. If plus is given, write down a plus sign. If minus is given, minus sign. So here Ag I have expressed in terms of X. Cyanide, 2 times cyanide charge is minus 1 is equals to this overall charge. Just follow my arrow here. So X minus 2 is equals to minus 1. Therefore X is equals to plus 1. So the oxidation state of silver is plus 1. Please come back with me. Initially, I had taken a pure silver. Here also elemental silver, oxidation state is 0. After going through the reaction, now silver which was in the 0 oxidation state has become plus. What does it plus sign talks about? It's running short of 1 electron. So what has taken place in between? Oxidation has taken place. So silver from elemental state is gone up to silver plus state, meaning oxidation. What's the meaning of oxidation? It has lost the electron. Now under cementation, so oxidation has taken place. Now under cementation, what happens? Silver which was in the ionic stage has attained its elemental state, meaning here it was running short of electron. Here it has accepted the electron. What's the meaning of reduction? Accepting the electron. During the reaction formation, it has accepted the electron and has gone back to its 0 oxidation state, meaning elemental state. So this reaction is called as a redox reaction because it has undergone oxidation by losing an electron, and it has also undergone reduction because it has accepted the electron. Here it is in the form of an impure state. Here it's in the form of the pure state. Therefore, the leaching process is a redox reaction. So this is your answer to your question number 1. Now let me give answer to question number 2, that is under evaluate yourself. It's taken from page number 8. Now the question is magnesite. Magnesite is nothing, magnesium carbonate. So magnesite is calcinated to obtain magnesia, which is used to make refractory bricks. Write the decomposition reaction. If you remember, under calcination, meaning of calcination is heating in the absence of air, and I told you 2 subdivisions. It is applicable for a carbonated ore and hydrated ore. Now what's the meaning of carbonated ore? CO3 formation you will see. You can close your eyes and write down carbon dioxide will be going out. So magnesite formula is MgCO3, that's magnesium carbonate. When you heat it in the absence of oxygen, what goes out? You get a metal oxide, magnesium oxide plus carbon dioxide. If you look for 1 times magnesium, here also 1. Oxygen is 3 times, 2 times plus 1 3 times, and carbon 1 time, carbon 1 time. It's a balanced reaction. Only so much is the answer. Don't get frightened looking at the 3 lines of question. Answer is just one single line answer. Now we are moving on to very important. Based on Elegum diagram question, evaluate yourself. Question number 3 taken from page number 14. Using Elegum diagram, indicate the lowest temperature at which zinc oxide can be reduced to zinc metal by carbon. Write the overall reduction at this temperature. To my best, I have given the clear diagram for you all. Now you know in Elegum diagram, that's a Gibbs standard Gibbs free energy versus temperature. So I have did the x-axis marking and y-axis marking. Now these are the 3 lines I have drawn for you. One is carbon gives me carbon monoxide. The other one, all different colors I have used for you all. Carbon gives me carbon dioxide. Here carbon gives me carbon monoxide. Here carbon gives me carbon dioxide. And here carbon monoxide gives me carbon dioxide. Now these 2 are given in your textbook. The graph carbon line, if you remember, cuts across all the other slopes that we have told you. And carbon monoxide is the most negative slope, that also given clearly. Now this particular graph is not given, but it's okay. We will explain when we work on the questions for you all. Now our point of interest is zinc. Now if you remember such type of graph, if you will remember phase transition. What's the meaning of phase transition? Either the metal oxide is being melted or it gets evaporated. So this is the graph. You can refer to your textbook and find out the graph for you all. So I've used the different coloring for you all. Carbon gives me carbon monoxide. Carbon gives carbon dioxide. Carbon monoxide gives carbon dioxide. Now you are given zinc is reduced by carbon. You need to prove it by the answer. Now if you look here, now 2 points of interest. Let me take some other color pen for you all. Yeah, 2 point of interest. What you have to remember is, now all the 3 curves I've got. Now my metal of interest is zinc oxide is given. I told you the metal can be reduced by the lower graph. Now I've got below zinc, all the three curves happens to be in the lower line. That is carbon monoxide, carbon and carbon. All the three curves are below. Now between the three, you have to select which one does give you most negative value, and the temperature is also low. So two condition you need to remember. I had given it. Lowest temperature should be considered and delta G value should be negative or more negative. Now I'll tell you why I have written negative or more negative. Now if you look for the temperature, there's a point of intersection here. Take the blue line point of intersection to be T1. Orange line point of intersection to be T2. Red color line point of intersection to be T3. Now, what's the point number 1? When you select the best reducing agent, the temperature should be the lowest one. So, which one has got a lowest temperature? T1, T2 or T3? You know that when along the x-axis, the temperature keeps increasing. So, between the three, which one is having the low temperature? T1. So, therefore, T1 is applicable for what type of graph? That is bicarbon. Point number 2. Delta G value should be negative. So now if you look for all the three curve, whose delta G value will be more negative? Carbon delta G value will be more negative. And that's the reason we had opted for zinc oxide is converted into zinc by carbon. Now let's see the proof of it here. Zinc oxide. For example, I have taken carbon monoxide. So when I treat it with a carbon monoxide, what do I get? Zinc plus carbon dioxide. Now zinc oxide plus carbon. When I treat here, what do I get here? Carbon and oxygen go together as a carbon monoxide and zinc I get. Therefore, reducing a metal oxide zinc to zinc is, converting a zinc oxide to zinc, carbon acts as a best reducing agent. What are the two reasons? One is carbon takes a less temperature. T1 is the smallest temperature. Now here also carbon gives me, carbon monoxide is out of the line, leave it. Between these two, which one has got a less delta G value? Mine, this one, carbon to carbon monoxide has a less delta G value than carbon to carbon dioxide. So that's the point I have written. The lowest temperature needed for this particular extraction process is 1400 degrees Celsius, at which carbon reduces zinc oxide to zinc. I hope my little explanation has given you the clear point here. Follow the line. The metal oxide can be reduced by one of the oxides below the graph. Now we have three types of graph. Under the three types of graph, the one that gives you the lowest temperature you should opt for. So carbon to carbon monoxide takes the less temperature for the extraction process. Point number 2. Between the two, the delta G value of carbon to carbon monoxide is it has a less delta G value. These are the little explanations. Going back to the last question under evaluate yourself, that is taken from page number 15. The question here is, metallic sodium is extracted by electrolysis of brine, that is sodium chloride or rock salt solution. After electrolysis, the electrolyte solution becomes basic in nature. Write the possible electrode solution. Now you know by now when we say electrolysis, you need to have a cathode, anode and electrolyte solution. Now so cathode, what's the charge on the cathode? Should be negative. Now anode, when you say what should be the charge here? Positive. So now what type of electrode solutions that we are taking? Sodium chloride solution that we are taking here. Now sodium chloride. Now you have learned it earlier. The electrolyte solution will get split into positive and negative ions. So sodium chloride gets split into Na plus and Cl minus. Now in what are we dissolving the sodium chloride? Aqueous solution. Now aqueous solution is water. How does water molecule get split into H plus and OH minus? So we'll come back to this later. Just for the timing, you remember NaCl gets converted into Na plus Cl minus, and aqueous solution of water gets split into H plus and OH minus. Second point of interest, reaction at cathode. When you say electrolysis, you have to write down reaction at cathode and reaction at anode. Now reaction at cathode. Now cathode is a negatively charged. Positive ions will move towards the negatively charged cathode. So now one hydrogen is running, H plus stands for running short of one electron. Hydrogen is a diatomic molecule. So how many electrons we require? 2. So one hydrogen requires one electron. So a diatomic molecule, how many hydrogens? 2. So 2 hydrogens ions when you take here, how many electrons they require? 2 electrons. So it forms a hydrogen molecule. Now reaction at anode. Now anode is made out of positive charge, so it gives out the electron. Now how many chlorine again is a diatomic molecule. One chlorine is running short of one electron. So how many chlorines we need to take when you say diatomic? 2. So 2 chlorine ions gives you. Now minus sign talks about excess in charge, plus sign talks about less in charge. So hydrogen accepts the electron that is being released from carbon. Please remember. Now chlorine releases the excess electron. This excess electrons are received by hydrogen to complete its elemental state here. So hydrogen is obtained here, chlorine is obtained here. Now overall reaction, what actually takes place here is, you had taken sodium chloride in water, that's an aqueous solution. Now sodium chloride Na plus Cl minus. Water you can write it as a H plus OH minus. So together if you see the salt formation, you all know that Na plus combines with the OH minus giving us sodium hydroxide. H combines with the Cl minus giving us HCl. Now one more point I have written. Though Na plus and H plus ions are positive, only hydrogen ions are discharged at cathode. Now you have a Na plus is also positive charge, H plus also positive charge. The point of question is, between the two, which one moves to the cathode? Now here only hydrogen ions move to the cathode. I have also given the reason. Why not Na plus ions? Now you know sodium is a reactive metal. When the reactive metal is taken, more reactive a metal is, the less readily its ion is reduced in the electrode. So between Na plus and H plus, Na plus is of active metal or a highly reactive metal. So this ions does not move to the cathode, they remain in the solution. That's how finally we get a sodium hydroxide solution. What is given in the question for you? After the electrolyte, the electrolytic solution becomes basic in nature. So this is how sodium hydroxide is a basic in nature. So the reaction we have obtained here. Now therefore, electrolytic solution, that's NaOH, becomes basic in nature. Thank you children.
I gave you my heart.